I am the long-lost trueborn of the Vance dynasty, the prince who vanished for decades. Birth looked down on me for growing up in the sticks too aloof, too rough, nothing like their $1 million, ivy-polished counterfeit they'd shipped back from the Riviera. My matriarch actually said, "You're still wet behind the ears, watch your older and learn, stop shaming the Vance name." I laughed. Learn to be a two-timing sleazeball who steals my girlfriend? Learn to be a pretentious poser who snubs the world? If Professor hadn't ordered me down the mountain to season my temperament, this family could be on its knees and I still wouldn't come back. Day 1 in the company, counterfeit rose on his tiptoes to pat my head. Low GPA's fine, just be honest, little bro, drop the back alley con tricks, the Vance coffers can afford you. Mocking my combined master doctorate was bad enough, but my mentor is a living national treasure, a top-tier ink master whose single scroll can fetch 8 figures from any tycoon on the planet. I carry his authentic seal, yet I'm a street con? Blood rushed to my fists. Before I could think, one punch and counterfeit's ulna cracked like dry kindling. He retaliated by icing me out at work and told Richard and Lydia it was character building, forbidding me to breathe a word of my real pedigree. Ex-girlfriend heard the gossip and, eager to lick counterfeit's shoes, hissed at me, "Avery, I love only Jamie. Don't use me as an excuse to harass him. There is zero future between us." I nearly laughed myself sick. Who wanted a rerun? If she hadn't swiped my thesis painting and tried to pass it off as her senior project, I wouldn't even know her name. When I demanded damages, she played damsel, begging to be my wife to repay the debt by cooking and cleaning. I took pity, let her play housekeeper. Next thing I know, she's telling every gallery we're dating, hanging my work in competitions, milking the limelight. I was too busy restoring Professor Song Dynasty silk to babysit her ego. Once she'd banked enough clout, she jumped ship straight into trust funds Ferrari. Vanity, human nature, but calling me out on my first morning? Unforgivable. When I ignored her, Emery felt dissed, a steaming Americano straight to my chest. "What are you gawking at, loser? A peasant like you lands in a Fortune 500 firm only because of me, show some gratitude." I counted to 3. "Congratulations, you now owe me $28,250,000.10. My soup French couture, hand-stitched, retails for over 200 grand a set." She rolled her eyes, arms folded, brows cocked. I could almost read the script. "You're talking out of your ass. Bring your check tomorrow, I'll forward the invoice. You don't want your fairy tale wedding with Prince Counterfeit popping like a balloon, do you?" Her chin trembled. "You planting a target on me? Fine, then pack up, because you're done at Vance Holdings." I rubbed my temples. Clearly I'd kept too low a profile. Emery hooked her arm through Jamie's and whispered poison, eyebrows dancing. Jamie strolled over, hands in pockets. "Bro, told you knock off the hustles at home. Chantel's a sweet kid, if you scare her again I'll tell mom and dad." Moron. I flicked drops of coffee off the discreet monogram. Sure, the logo was quiet, but bespoke is bespoke. 200 grand pocket change to me, yet Emery's annual salary couldn't cover the cufflinks. Jamie scanned the lapel, frowned, and pontificated, "Con artistry is one thing, wearing knockoffs to flaunt? Tacky. Dress code exists, you're dragging corporate image through the mud." He hugged his smug Chantel and disappeared into the executive elevator. Genuine article dismissed as fake. No wonder his taste is garbage. Next door happened to be Eleanor's satellite office. I rang Haley. Within minutes a courier toad arrived with a fresh outfit. Change completed, mood restored, I strode back to my cubicle. 79 only, not 99, just 79. The livestream studio thundered. Floor yelled, "New guy, quit gawking, write the price tag." I hoisted the placard, deja vu hitting hard. So this was Jamie's idea of aligned placement, manual writing and drawing on air. He thought petty labor would send me packing? Let him dream. 2. The Night Brush stream just cracked 10 million viewers. Who's on camera? Double his pay, add 10K bonus. Jamie heads digital marketing. Floor's ecstatic voice accidentally blared over speaker. Floor beamed at me. "Brilliant eye, sir. This rookie outsold the veteran anchors 8 million in 1 hour. The regular host had gone belly up from bad clams, they were short-staffed, so they tossed me a marker. A brush is my wand I could demo until sunrise. I didn't expect the clip to detonate. Scrolling comments, this anchor's insane, my college prof never broke ink like that. Rave after rave. Sign-off hit, and the studio mood flipped. Floor jabbed a finger at my nose. Rookie, you think screwing the VP's girlfriend is cute? You've earned a punishment. Shift scrub the toilets. Freshmen need humility lessons. Apparently defending myself against slander equals playing with Jamie's girl. I loitered by the janitor closet, grinning. Keep underestimating me, I am just getting warmed up. I flung the broom aside. Are you his dog? Mind your own business. If you don't want the numbers, plenty of people do. In 20 years I'd never taken crap like this on my first day at a company. I punched out, rode home, and found Berth waiting in the living room, faces dark the moment I stepped in. Richard glanced up, grim. Worthless. I told you to learn from older, not play thug. Drop the street brat act. Lydia wrapped her chopsticks on the bowl, ordering me to the table. Jamie glided out of the kitchen cradling a double-boiled bird's nest. As he passed he pretended to trip, sucking in a breath. Little had a rough day, a tantrum's normal kids will be kids. Shame about mom's soup, though. The scene rewrote me as villain. Berth rushed to Jamie, Lydia shot me a look that said you disappoint me. Richard didn't bother with questions, he swung. The slap rang hot. Don't think being our trueborn lets you play emperor here. Everything of the Vance belongs to your older. I saw red. Professor raised me 20 years and never raised a hand. These two birthed me, abandoned me, and now want obedience? I was snatched by a kidnapper-turned-nanny, yet they pamper the kidnapper-turned-nanny's son while lecturing me about grabbing assets. 20 years, not one. How are you? Only fear I'll steal their fortune. I swept my gaze over their touching family tableau, so motherly, so filial, and decided I was the extra. Whoever wants this mausoleum can have it. I walked the curb, craving Professor. I caved and called. Sterling, how's the professor? Her gentle laugh came through. He's abroad with the premier, same as ever. Zane, how are things at the Vance house? I stared at the blazing mansion, pride in shreds. Pretty good. Professor sent me to learn, I won't quit halfway. We chatted a bit, then I turned back. Jamie was on the balcony, smiling down. I ignored him. Next morning I clocked into the studio. Floor, still bitter, paired me with a rookie streamer to push lingerie. She looked barely legal, cheeks flushing as toxic rained dirty comments. She panicked and teared up. I grabbed the mic, killed the chat, issued a cold warning, and mass banned the toxic. Numbers rebounded, new viewers poured in. She beamed, moon crescents for eyes. Zane, we just cracked 100,000. I nodded and we kept rolling. At break I headed out and spotted Alex leading Richard on an inspection tour. Alex beamed. Yesterday Emory streamed and revenue jumped a few thousand%. The Zier branch specifically asked to partner with us. Richard frowned at the few thousand head count. Why so low today? And Zier really wants in? Stream just started, numbers will climb, Alex cooled, spinning fiction. I lifted my bottle for a sip, Richard caught sight of me, pointed, face black. Incorrigible. Once they left, Floor screamed at me for slacking in front of the boss. The rookie piped up, Zhang Ji, policy is 2 hours on, 5 minutes off, we were due. Floor sneered. Wow, already grooming a gold digger? Standards, Avery, standards. She hurled the sample garment at him and slapped him hard. Watch your mouth. I quit. I fought laughter, smart girl. I flicked her a black gold card. Try Zier next door, that's their chief of staff's contact. She glanced at it, thankful, and bounced. Floor laughed that we were both delusional. His company couldn't even schedule a meeting with Zier, so how would I know anyone there? Just then Zier's rep arrived. Floor dragged me over to watch me crash. The assistant snapped, your company breaches good faith clauses, we're walking. Then he spotted me, pulled me aside. "He's right here," you claimed he was absent. "Trying to hike the price?" Haley appeared, handing me my dry-cleaned, France-restored suit. "Sterling, apologies, French restoration delayed us." I took it, embarrassed. "No trouble, Haley." Everyone stared, minds blown. After Haley left, Jamie stared at the contract, lost in thought, then looked at me with new wariness, as though I'd suddenly become dangerous. Emery looped an arm through his. "Lee, when he used to sell paintings, only rich cougars bought them. Every time they made him deliver the canvas to their villas one night each trip, who knows what happened." I didn't catch the rest, but Jamie's gaze grew filthier by the second. "Me, kept by sugar mamas? Ridiculous. I am capital, I only cling to my professor's wife." After hours Jamie asked me to stay, produced a stack of photos, and threatened me. He crossed his legs. "Tonight's banquet, skip it. If you show, I'll tell patriarch and matriarch every dirty detail of your gold digging. Let's see how long you last in East Coast society." I lifted the prints, glanced at the grainy, angled shots, and smirked. "Ready to drop the mask? Not even a shirt off, do your worst." "I'm going." I shredded the photos and flicked the confetti into his face. He glowered. "Avery, you're dead." The night garden party was hosted by the Whitmores to find Bella a husband. I had zero interest in matchmaking, but a genuine sterling een would be unveiled. I wanted to study it and maybe win it for Professor's birthday. Jamie, immaculate in tails, escorted Rowan's parents downstairs. "Uncle, hasn't Rowan arrived?" Old Whitmore, smooth as ever, deflected. "That unruly girl." "Has your brother come?" Jamie's smile iced as he spotted me swirling a glass, waiting for the scrolls. "All you do is eat, can't you emulate older, laughing with Whitmore?" Patriarch hurled his wine onto the table in front of me, then oozed flattery toward the host. Annoying. When I shadowed Professor I simply ate, now I fielded side quests. At last the paintings appeared, first some Ming-Qing landscapes, meticulous, authentic, but minor names copying the greats. Hardly the heaven-and-earth rarity Alex had bragged about. Finally the promised sterling een unrolled. One look, fake. I shook my head. Alex caught it. "Little brother, your neck twitched, some expert opinion, perhaps?" He wanted blood. Every gaze skewered me. Patriarch barked that I was clueless and to shut up. I said, "That painting is counterfeit." Patriarch's face bruised purple, but I rattled off the telltale flaws. The room quieted. Whitmore's hawk-eyes pinned me. Bold words. "Professor personally authenticated it, yet you cry fake?" "If Professor approved, impossible." "Whitmore, it's definitely bogus." "May I ask what Professor looks like?" Patriarch lunged, kicked my knee, cursing me for a jinx. "Whitmore, he's countryside trash, no breeding. Beat him or fine him, whatever you wish, just don't blame us." He frantically severed ties. Coolly I explained, "Sterling een is my professor, if I can spot a forgery at first sight, he certainly would. Bring another expert." Whitmore's color worsened. "Everyone knows Sterling has one son, no pupils. Remove this brat." "Unfortunate genes in that family," someone muttered. Bella drifted in, champagne silk clinging, hair casually pinned. "Dad, what are you doing?" "That scroll is my copy, the authentic one's in my private study." Silence detonated. Her mother yanked her away, scolding. Whitmore, rigid, apologized to me. Misattributions spark fights, but I was unfazed. Bella, however, marked me. Heading for the men's room, I found her blocking the door, imperious. "Sterling is the artist I venerate most. You lucked out spotting the error, but don't dare claim you're his pupil." "Fine. I really had to pee." "Apologize first, admit you lied about studying under him." "Stubborn brat." I lifted her, tossed her onto a velvet sofa. "Let me drain the dragon first, then you can throw your tantrum." When I returned she was gone, the Vances were ready to throw me out. You impersonate Sterling's apprentice and harass Whitmore planning to ruin us? Patriarch slapped a $50,000 check at my feet. Disappear from Greenwich. If I see you again, you're finished. So they were disowning me again. Perfect, I could finally pack for home. Dad, don't blame Ellis, it's my failure as older punish me. Jamie wailed, hugging Patriarch's knees in operatic remorse. He's finally kicking me out and now he wants to play devoted father? Jamie is disgusting. I joked, then you leave, I'm staying. Thanks, my dear older. Jamie's neck stiffened, caught between advance and retreat. Richard snatched his cane and whipped it across my back so hard the shaft snapped. Get lost, you ungrateful. Lydia shot me a disgusted look and said coldly, children really must be raised by their own. Anyone left to outsiders turns feral. I laughed in anger. I tore the check to pieces. My professor pulled me out of a human's grasp and spent 20 years training me. Not one of you in this room has the right to lecture me. I couldn't figure out why I felt so hollow. I could simply return to Mountain and Professor, yet I couldn't muster any joy. Professor tricked me. This isn't experience, it's pure torment. 6. Moron, you're suing me? The moment I got back to the Mountain and finished restoring an old porcelain, Emery's call started blasting my phone. She stole my work, of course I'm suing. Emery cracked, those shabby sketches of yours aren't worth $35 million, this is outright extortion. You studied art, don't you know it's priceless? I hung up and blocked her. Mess with me and find out I'm no pushover. Jamie flaunted his degrees in my face, so I looked up his dissertations from overseas. Lo and behold, he'd hired a ghostwriter. One anonymous tip letter later and the sea turtle genius became just another turtle on its back. I called Haley, set up a few offshore shells to trap the Vance cash, and keep an eye on Jamie's latest moves. I actually run the subsidiary now. I just never took the title because Professor ordered me to get some bruises first. Only Haley, my mentor's executive secretary, knows. These days Jamie is busy chasing Bella and ignoring the company's sinkhole of red ink. Emery, here to pay up? I sat outside the courtyard gate, sorting mineral pigments for ink. She wore a beige cashmere coat and looked almost demure. Zane, I honestly didn't know you were Professor's protege. Could you forgive me? Someone of your heavyweight stature shouldn't bicker with us ordinary. She wept prettily, clearly the court's enforcement notice had landed on her doorstep. I capped my pigments without glancing up. Your being broke is my problem. How? Get me my money. Or did Alex dump you already? That sleazeball tossed me aside the second a richer girl batted her eyes. Zane-Emery can play the lamb all she wants, I've seen the viper underneath. We're not friends. Use my full name. If you're strapped, you must have picked up some dirt on Alex these past weeks. 1 week. I shut the gate. The day after tomorrow I head to the Capitol for a state collection symposium. Bella blocked my path, sneering, poser, what are you doing at the ministry? Planning to swindle more people under the Vance banner? I straightened my briefcase, impatient. Bella, did Alex feed you every line? Use your brain out of my way. She still wouldn't budge. A staffer recognized me and eased her aside. Miss, please step back. Sterling, this way. Sorry for the inconvenience. Bella stood there fuming, righteous and clueless. No wonder oily Alex played her. When the session began, I presented every restoration result. Bella sat dead center in the audience, eyes wide. Because I handle national relics, my identity stayed sealed before and during the meeting, no photos, no recording. Afterward a ministry car drove me to Zier's branch. Truth is, corporate management isn't my thing, but Eleanor, my mentor's wife, said $300 billion has to land somewhere. They're childless, so the will leaves everything to me. I take after Professor, give me archaeology, conservation, ink, painting, anything but spreadsheets. 7. More, isn't that Avery? Jamie, level with me. Are you and Avery brothers, or is he just some street con? Bella tailed me in her supercar. Jamie sprinted out like a well-trained pup the moment she called. The heiress smacked Alex twice before Jamie could blink. Jamie, dazed, insisted I was nothing but a con. Bella kicked him again. A con who gets invited by the Ministry of Education to keynote? Your Vance clan is finished. I enjoyed the show, then rode the elevator straight to Zier's top floor. Haley smiled, perfect timing. Sterling, the chairwoman, just flew in from Paris and is waiting. At the news Eleanor was back, my eyes lit. I strode into the office. Black waves, red tailored Chanel, lethal glamour. She spun her leather chair and smirked. So the little brat got bullied by the Vances? I found it embarrassing, but yes, they had done their worst. The matriarch stroked my cheek, her eyes turning arctic. Anyone who bullies a Sterling is begging to die. Wait, here I am getting you justice. Please don't tell the professor, I begged, tugging her sleeve, face flaming. I've got this feeling he'll roast me for 2 straight months. Little, I heard some con was impersonating my protege and scamming half of Manhattan. Knew it had to be you. Caught the first jet from LA, stinker, still scared I'll laugh at you? I turned, the professor cuffed the back of my head, grinning like a young Andy Lau. I hugged the matriarch's leg. I'm done rebelling, I want the matriarch. Dream on. Your matriarch is my wife, go find your own woman, runt. The professor's face went thunderdark. I almost cried. Gorgeous, capable girls? Never met one. Crazies? They queue up. To avenge me, the matriarch summoned every dynasty on the eastern seaboard, old money, new money, hedge fund royals, even the gossip bloggers. Nobody got to RSVP. No. Superhouse Sterling, rumor says Eleanor will name the Zier global heir tonight. Whispers rippled as I looked down from the mezzanine. Jamie gripped Bella's wrist, she yanked free. We're over, quit stalking me. The Whitmores will never ally with you. What do you think you are? Jamie's complexion matched pea soup. Spotlights merged, the MC seized the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome our guest of honor, Avery. Good evening. I'm Eleanor's adopted son, Avery. A 2-sentence intro enough to make the Vance clan spectrum from Snow White to lime green. I smiled at Jamie, his panic was hilarious. The matriarch tucked my arm through hers and glided toward the Vances. Richard, Lydia, so lovely to see you. Thank you for hosting my boy all these years. Not at all, Zane's brilliance is all thanks to Chairman Sterling's guidance, Richard stammered, champagne flute trembling. The matriarch sniffed. Tunnel vision. She swept me away, but when we passed Jamie she paused and dashed her wine straight into his face. A small down payment. Sleep with both eyes open, darling, or well, you'll see. 8. We reached the Whitmore alcove. Bella's eyes were swimming, she knocked back flute after flute, hiccuping apologies while her father turned paper pale. I sipped my champagne. The professor crossed the room. Professor, this is Bella, the kid who worships your monograph on Bellini forgeries. After I left the Whitmore roost, patriarchal pressure landed like a cartoon anvil. Whitmore, we met at the Frick 6 months ago. Ages, really? Allow me, my wife, my son. The professor draped an arm around the matriarch, smile razor polite. The Whitmores went 3 shades darker. I lifted my glass. Whitmore, join us, no sense letting the youngsters hog the liquor. That night, leaving their townhouse, I was jumped in an alley, beaten within an inch of my life. A few extra drinks wouldn't kill him. Post-gala, with Sterling allies tightening the vice, the Vance pedestal started to tilt. Sir, Chairman Vance requests an audience. I rubbed my temples over the quarterly. Do they have an appointment? No? Show them out. I told Haley to handle it, then the matriarch kicked the door in. You're 20. Time mother found you a girlfriend. Since handing me the group reins, she's become a one-woman dating app, heiresses today, influencers tomorrow, none willing to run a $3 trillion conglomerate. All I want is to mend porcelain and paint ink landscapes. Matriarch, seriously? I'm ordained to bachelorhood. I clutched my head. I looked up and there was the streamer from the auction scandal. Hi, I'm Mindy, Harvard Econ, master's thesis on sovereign wealth arbitrage. You once bailed me out at Vance Holdings. I'd be honored to compete for your attention. Crisp, bright, zero nonsense, exactly the resume the doctor ordered. The matriarch practically shoved us out the French doors for an insta-date. Halfway down Madison I spotted Jamie arguing with Emery. Jamie, I bought that bag, I'm taking it back, little. Emery had compiled every document of Jamie's bullying, zipped it to Richard, and hit send. Richard felt the sting of betrayal and went codestroke. Shareholders ripped Jamie apart, bones and all. Now he was snatching purses from exes. He saw me, dropped to his knees on the sidewalk. I was wrong, please, Chairman Sterling, save the Vance empire. Mindy stepped between us, cool as January. Vance? Sterling's surname is Sterling. Why exactly should he help? Security escort this moron away. She snapped. Black-suited phantoms hauled Jamie off the curb. We strolled Fifth Avenue, she shopped like it was cardio. I carried the mountain of bags. At the corner, Bella appeared, mascara streaked. Sterling. I love you. I blinked. Was Bella unhinged? I'd sabotaged her auction, humiliated her family, and she was confessing? Mindy slipped her arm through mine, voice sugared steel. Husband, who is she? I laced fingers with Mindy, turned, and answered evenly, a stranger. Come, the matriarch is waiting, dinner's getting cold. And by Milu culture.